Hello and good morning, Toronto Blue Jays fans. I am your host, Craig Bourne, here on Jays Latest. We're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball, so let's step up to the plate and talk some rumors first things first. So, I think a big question on a lot of people's minds is who's going to be sellers, who's going to be, you know, buying. Right now, the Toronto Blue Jays are looking like a buyer. We're in striking distance of first place. We're going to be playing the Yankees the next few days, which is a true test of where we're going to be. We keep winning series, so things are looking good for the Blue Jays. 45 and 38 on the season so far. Right now, they're only 3 games behind the New York Yankees for the division. So, and it actually has us in a wild card spot if the season were to magically end today. Looking at other teams around the league, who could be sellers? And one of those ones that is on the fence right now is the Kansas City Royals. They are currently 39 and 45, so they're 6 games under 500. They are still only 4.5 games back on a wild card, which obviously has them in striking distance. But the Detroit Tigers are, as everybody knows, running away with the division and have the best record in Major League Baseball at 53 and 32. So what does this look like if they go to trade? They have a few interesting arms and whatnot, especially pitchers that are going to be mostly their tradable assets that are rolling off their contracts over the next year. And the one that sticks out to this person here, this guy, is Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo is actually having another insanely good season at the age of 36. He is currently cruising all the way to a 2.7 WAR, 5-5 record, 2.74 ERA in 15 starts. That's 88 innings with 76 strikeouts. He has been doing insanely well and continues to rake things up. And it looks like he's an all-star again. Um, hadn't made an all-star team in his entire career. Made one finally last year at the age of 34. He's currently 35, going to be 36 in the very, very near future. But he has found something that has really allowed him to tap into some new level of game, and it's been insanely well for him over the last few years. He has not had a ERA above 4 until you go all the way back to 2020. So he's been doing really good. That was mostly between the Mets, Padres, and the Kansas City Royals. He signed a 3-year, $15 million a year. So he's actually on that contract at the moment, which makes him a rental because he will be technically a free agent at the end of the season if his player option does not, you know, get chosen, kick in, which I don't know how much it is. That was the one note that I could not find looking for his stuff. But to that point, if he's going to pitch like this, then let him pick up the option. Fine, have a great time. um, the Blue Jays will have to give up something for him, but obviously, in the midst of it being a rental, Seth Lugo could spell that fifth spot for the Blue Jays and make this an insanely talented rotation. And obviously, somebody that we could turn around and maybe get cheap to fill out this rotation next year that will be technically minus Chris Bassett if they don't re-sign him. So thought that would be a good option. He is going to be dangled very heavily if the Kansas City Royals decide to start selling off their assets, and he will probably be at the top of that list because of that whole running out his contract. And if they don't think they're going to do as good next year and want to rake in some talent, that player option obviously could spell financial relief for the Kansas City Royals. So, all right, let's go back to the Blue Jays because this one we are going to obviously be talking how the Blue Jays won this game yesterday 5-3 in Boston. Take another one from the Red Sox in Fenway Park. Let their record drop to 41 and 44. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays go to 45 and 38. Still shocks me, especially after how bad things were to begin this season. After Bo Bichette struck out in the first inning, Addison Barger kicks off the scoring with a home run that he wraps around the Penske pole, and it was just really cool to see him hit that. Because it looked like he killed it, and then watching it go over that short porch in right field for the Boston Red Sox at Fenway is just one of those. I'm like, okay, great, it's a home run. I don't know how many ballparks that actually would have legit been a home run on. And then after that, Barger barely gets the home run jacket on and then automatically has to get it prepped up and cleaned for Vladdy because he hit a monster blast over the monster. So back-to-back home runs really kicks the Blue Jays offense off. I still love this BBG thing that we got going on top of our lineup, or Big Bats Go. Is what I've been nicknaming it at, with Bichette, Barger, and Guerrero at the top of this lineup. And worked out really well for the Blue Jays to jump out to an early lead yesterday and kept things moving throughout the rest of the game. This never felt comfortable at all throughout this whole game. The Blue Jays end up getting a few extra ones, but Carlos Narvaez hits a home run to get the Red Sox right back in it in the second inning. It's followed up by another double that scores Trevor Story by Cedar Rafaela. Ball that was a really weird route for Jonathan Clase, and it obviously tied him up. That would be the one thing for the youngster that is definitely a developing part of his game. He's got some great tools, very interesting to watch, but some of the routes that he takes in the outfield obviously are going to be needing some development. But we have seen what that can do. You turn over the years, Teoscar Hernandez was one of those ones that we said these same things about. He's turned into one of the better left fielders in the game at this point as defense goes. On to the fourth. Andres Jimenez ends up scoring Nathan Lucas on a single that kind of flies over the right side of the infield, just pokes it over there, gives the Blue Jays the lead, and then Tyler Heineman actually walked later that inning with the bases loaded. So Walker Buehler having a rough time with the Blue Jays. After that, things just keep going. Blue Jays finally put that fifth run on the board. Nathan Lucas is been so much fun to watch. Hits a nice single, scores Bo Bichette, gets the gang going. Red Sox weren't done yet, though. They try to chip back into this one. Romy Gonzalez hits a double. It scores Nick Sogard later in the game. Like I said, it just never felt solid and ready to go through the whole game. And I give massive amounts of credit to the Blue Jays bullpen and Eric Lauer. Lauer, once again, was good, not great, but to that point, he's only our fifth starter. He doesn't need to be great. 4 1/3, 7 hits scattered around, 3 earned runs, which include the home run and 4 strikeouts. Yariel Rodriguez picks up his second win of the season as he pitches an inning and 2/3, strikes out one, only allows a hit. And then that was the end of the hitting. Brandon Little, Nick Sandlin, and Jeff Hoffman combined for the last 3 innings and just keep everybody off the bases except for one walk that Sandlin allowed. Picks up his third hold of the season. And Hoffman, wow, in the ninth inning, 3 strikeouts, takes out the side, and had those hitters looking very, very silly while he's doing it. His ERA is now finally dropped below 5 because he's actually had a really nice June. Picks up his 18th save of the season. So now, Blue Jays talk. We're going to move to going back up north, obviously, going home to play the New York Yankees. As I mentioned, the Yankees had been the best team in the American League, but they're definitely not shy of their flaws. Currently 48-35 and 3 games ahead of the Blue Jays in the American League East, but within striking distance. The Blue Jays will be facing Carlos Rodon this evening at 7 o'clock in the Sky Dome. Max Scherzer will be on the mound to go against him. Rodon having an incredible season. This is obviously what the Yankees paid for a few years ago, and he hadn't really performed up to it at this point. He's fresh off a start where he threw 6 innings and did not allow a run for the Cincinnati Reds. Before that, LA Angels and the Boston Red Sox were able to touch him up for 3 runs each. His ERA on the season is currently 2.92 in 17 starts, just over 100 innings. As mentioned, Rodon is having a better season than he did the last. In his last 7 starts, a 2.57 ERA, which is only 12 runs in 42 innings. On the flip side, we're getting Mad Max back, and Mad Max is 40 years old and still throwing some gas. He's only thrown a couple of outings, obviously, as you're more all well aware. Had 5 innings against the Cleveland Indians in a very hot outside game at the Jake. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, but he is continuing to ramp up his pitch count. I don't know what they're going to be on tonight. He was held to 80 in his last outing, and we'll see what happens. But the Yankees have not faced it, or I won't say haven't faced them, but have not had a bunch of great success against Max Scherzer. So if he can regain any of that kind of form, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton being the two that have really gotten advantage of it. But then again, those two didn't take advantage of a lot of Major League Baseball pitchers. Um, Stanton has 4 career home runs and 25 at bats against Max Scherzer, so he will be the one to watch out for, in addition to Aaron Judge. Um, Obviously, this is a good talented lineup and will be a vast test for the Toronto Blue Jays and what their season could look like. The Blue Jays have won 2 series in a row. This will be them coming in hot against the New York Yankees, and we'll see what happens. Come back tomorrow, everybody, for some more trade rumors and more talk. We will discuss everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball here. Make sure you head over to jaybirdwatching.com so you can also check out all the fun stuff that we've been working on Jaybird Watching podcast. This week, we got our friend Anthony from Major League Brews, who is actually a Yankee fan. So he's the only Yankee fan we allow on our show because he loves beer and baseball. And I guess we'll make that one exception for him. So make sure you tune into that Wednesday, 8 o'clock, and we will talk some Blue Jays baseball. Y'all have a great evening. Cheers.